Tyler.
Hey guys, how you doing?
How are you?
Hopefully your week went really well. My week was pretty good.
Yeah.
How was your week?
It was pretty decent. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It flew by.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know we did a lot of fun things. You saw Child's Play.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
did.
Martin's got some stories for us later on.
I saw Child's Play. Was not a fan of Child's Play. I was very disappointed.
We'll talk about it later.
And
but-
we will let the suspense on that build.
Yes.
But,
So-
Tyler, do you want...
People like to laugh at me, apparently. What's up?
You're making me laugh. What are you
Do you
doing?
want to run us... I heard him be like, sorry. Do you want to run us through the topics?
I didn't say sorry.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
You want to run us through the
Yeah,
topics?
so today we're going to be talking about J.J. Abrams. He has a new comic book coming out for Marvel. He's writing that with his son. He also just signed a deal with Warner Brothers for $500 million to work with Warner Brothers. Will he be working for DC? Will he be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe? We might talk about that. He also has an assistant who was an executive producer on the newest Star Wars movie, Episode 9, who is now in charge of all the live-action Star Wars films at Lucasfilm.
Crazy.
So that's
Wow.
pretty interesting. It's all pretty much JJ news. We will also be looking at the Stranger Things season 3 final trailer. We will be watching that. You'll be watching it with us, and we will be reacting. Some people have seen it, some people haven't on this panel. So we'll check that out and talk about that. And then obviously we have Martin's child play stories.
Yeah. Just
They're not about the movie. They're about his childhood when
Yeah,
his
that's
parents
it.
would leave him with the playpen at the mall.
Yeah.
So,
It's just
yeah.
terrible stories.
Oh yeah, and one thing I also forgot: the first reactions for Spider-Man: Far From Home are out. Some critics got to see it, and they're raving about it. So we'll read a couple of those and talk about how we feel about that.
They
So,
say it's the best Spider-Man yet.
yeah, some of them do.
Super
Some of them
excited.
do. We'll talk about it. So that's the rundown. So
Yep.
let's get into
And
it.
that is our main topics for the day. We got some little itty bitty ones that we're going to mention, but they're not as big as those ones, so we're just going to kind of bring them up. But the first one, Martin, do you want to get us started?
Sure.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty stoked about Spider-Man, as you are. There's some trailer reveals and one scene in particular with Mysterio,
That was dope.
which was pretty awesome.
Mhm.
And we get a little backstory against of Mysterio, so yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And it's cool, too, because we see...
What
you
is
know,
what is cool? Sorry to cut you off. Is his helmet. We actually get to see how it works a little bit, and right when he sits down and talks to Peter Parker, his helmet just disintegrates and just kind of disappears, which is kind of cool.
And I'm going to go off of that, actually. So, if you don't know by now, I'm a really big Spider-Man guy. Like, I love my Spider-Man.
Me
You
too.
should have seen my whole bedroom. It was the dopest thing ever. Posters from every movie, wallpaper. It's the best. Anyways, Mysterio is a master of illusion.
Yep.
So, now I'm wondering, when I saw that clip, you know, like I enjoy it for what it is, but then I'm also like, is his helmet even real? Like,
Right.
in
What
the-
is
in the
real? What
comics-
isn't real? Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics and the cartoons, you know, like, call him Fishbowl Head, he gets punched in the helmet, ding, you play the old game for the PlayStation 1 or the PC, and, like, you crack his helmet when you're fighting him, you know?
Right.
So it's
that-
just like, in this, like, is he even
It's like a
gonna get
holographic.
hidden? Like,
Yeah. So
Is
that
it-
won't happen.
alternate, because he comes from, I forget what he said his Earth was,
8
5
90210.
It's 8 something.
90210, I think. But so there's like different technologies or whatever that we don't necessarily know about. So it's just an interesting thing to see right there too. Like just in the little details, it's like, wait, is what's real and what's not? And that's how I want to feel with Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see them have that moment, especially, you know, we have the second trailer where he talks about how he's from another universe and he's here to help, and the whole snap, like, it messed with all that stuff. So I think it's cool that, like, whether he's bad, whether he's the main villain or not, like, it's still going to be cool to see them have those moments.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool about the trailers. They've only shown us pretty much like the first act of the movie, so it's just from it's what it looks like. It looks like it's pretty much the first act, so that's really cool. Do you want to jump into the reviews that we got?
Yes, we can.
Cool. So Maud Garrett on Twitter says, hashtag Spider-Man, hashtag Far From Home is such a good movie. Jake Gyllenhaal suits up and completely embraces his role in its entirety, and he's clearly having a blast. This is such a refreshing film after the heaviness of hashtag Endgame. The post-credit scene are a must-watch and will blow your dang mind.
Wow.
Mike Ryan replies to that and says, and obviously with Mysterio involved, there are some pretty bizarre scenes. Honestly, I always kind of assumed a Mysterio movie wasn't really possible, but John Watts and company pulled it off. Then he adds to that saying, oh, and for me, Spider-Man Far From Home had 3 legit, holy crap, shocking moments.
Dang.
Nice.
That gets me pretty excited. We have a couple more. From Jermaine Lucier on Twitter. He says, Spider-Man Far From Home made me smile from start to finish. It's got huge reveals and exciting set pieces, but the way it builds off Endgame and dives deeper into Peter Parker's emotions is really what makes it soar. Mysterio also rules. I can't wait to see it again.
That's huge because they already even said that if you don't know, the Marvel Universe is split into phases, and Endgame was what everyone was calling the end of Phase 3, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then Kevin Feige and the Russos were all saying, no, Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of the phase, not Endgame. And people were like, wait, what? How is... Like, this is a big old... Like, this is the movie. Like, it's got everybody. It's concluding tons of people's plot lines. How is this not the end? How are you saying a Spider-Man one is? And what a lot of people kind of come to say is, like, Spider-Man Far From Home, because Endgame was pretty heavy, it's almost like the present after Endgame. But it's not just like the gift that we get for like enduring Endgame. It's also, some people said it is the post-credit scene, because Endgame didn't have a post-credit scene. They said it is the post-credit scene to the entire Infinity Saga. The first 22 movies can't just get like a 1-minute end credit clip. They get a whole like 2 hours. And I kind of like to look at it that way. And what that guy said in that one that you just read kind of sounds like tonally they delivered that.
Yeah.
You know?
We got another one here that I'm very curious to see what you guys think. I know Martin's going to have some thoughts on this one. Kevin McCarthy on Twitter says, Far From Home has dethroned Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 and is now he doesn't have the my, but he says, and is now my favorite Spider-Man film. What's insane is I can't even tell you why I'm so in love with this film, because it would be a spoiler. Gyllenhaal is incredible. Wow. Holland reconfirms as the best Spidey to date. Amazing.
Wow. Just wow. Well, I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films. And
we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we grew up on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I think, can that be completely true? I think it depends.
I hope so. Which...
Spider-Man 2, that's pretty much the pinnacle of like all superhero movies. I mean, at least
at the time.
At the time. I mean, there's still people that say like, "Oh, Spider-Man 2, nothing can top Spider-Man 2."
Yeah.
I liked it a lot when it first came out. After repeated viewings, I still enjoy it quite a bit, but I don't know. It definitely started to come apart a little bit after repeated.
Well, see, so that's where I am, and again, I don't know if there's anyone in the world that's like a bigger Spider-Man fan than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, yeah, I love Spider-Man so much, but I'm also a fan of putting my own bias aside. Like, I like to think I do that well. You know, like, Spider-Man 3, we all know is not a good movie.
Right.
But it is still one of my all-time favorite movies that I get so much enjoyment out of, even though I know it's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
And even as a little kid, I always said it was Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and then Spider-Man 3. Like, I liked the first Spider-Man the best.
Mm-hmm.
And you've heard, I'm not going to get on my soapbox right now, but you've heard me, like, rant before so many times to you being like, you know, Spider-Man 3, as far as, like, plot structure, plot holes, and, like, character development,
right,
as garbage as it is, it's a better movie than Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is just more entertaining. I'm in the minority with that opinion.
Spider-Man 2 is such a weird movie to me, too, because after repeated viewings, too, Spider-Man 2 kind of was, like, pretty much solely on Peter Parker.
Yeah,
It
and
was
again,
literally
I
a
love
drama
them
on
all.
just Peter Parker. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
3 was just primarily like focused on villains.
My favorite.
But-
Okay, I'm gonna leave Spider-Man 2 after this, but I just gotta. My favorite part of the movie is still Doc Ock's like, I know, I'm gonna use Peter Parker to help me get in contact with Spider-Man. So he throws a car at Peter, who only dodged it because he had spider powers that just happened to come back, and it's like, wait. If you wanted to talk to Spider-Man, you think Peter's just some regular dude? You just killed him, like.
Yeah.
And it's just there's so many goofy things like that. Again, like, it's still one of my all-time favorite movies. But what I'm really hoping for,
I think that's what made like the whole trilogy of Sam Raimi's trilogy just so like fun to watch. It was just there was
They're
so
kinda
every
campy.
every
Yeah.
single one of them had a scene like that. You know.
Yeah. And what I want from Far From Home, because again, I can't get on my whole Spider-Man soapbox right now, but the biggest thing I want is the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah.
And, like, I want it to not just be the best Spider-Man movie ever, but I also want it to be my favorite. It'd be kind of weird to be like, I want this movie to not be as good as other ones, but you know, like that's what because I always feel like the Spider-Man 2 argument, like. When I say I don't think it's the best, like again, I'm not even gonna say anything bad about it. But when I say I don't think it's the best, people act like I just decapitated someone on the street.
People really ripped on the Amazing Spider-Man though, and the first not even talking about the second film, but the first one was pretty damn good.
I love the
The
first one.
was really good.
I
I
love
thought that
movie.
was amazing.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
One thing, I just want a good Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes.
Give me Homecoming, give me this new one, and give me another one. Like, and the fact that we can sit here and be like, we actually have
a whole
like
trilogy.
a
Yeah.
great Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
that's
Tom
all I
Holland's
want.
killing it.
Yeah, like Captain America, where every single movie is good.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think they can do it.
I think they
Yeah,
will. I
I
think
hope so.
they're more than halfway there. I think they're gonna be great. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
we can definitely move on. I know
Okay,
we
so
could.
now moving on from Spider-Man, we have Spider-Man.
More Spider-Man.
So J.J. Abrams is writing a Spider-Man comic series. It's a limited run. Was it 10 issues?
I think so.
He's
Yeah.
writing a 10-issue limited run of Spider-Man with his son
Henry. Son's Henry.
Henry Abrams.
Henry
So-
Abrams comes out in September, so we got a while to wait. But
Yes, but
there's
you know
a-
some of the details.
there's
not a lot.
Yeah.
but you know
So it's
some of them.
so it's they've stated that it's a new it's a completely new take on Peter Parker. Like it's still gonna be referencing all of his history, but it's like it's different. Like obviously he's got Mary Jane, but they wouldn't tell us what specifically is different about this Peter Parker. But they said it's it's J.J. Abrams, so expect like J.J. Abrams isms, I would assume,
Yeah, and
where you have like a mystery box. It's like he teases stuff, but you don't know the answers until the end, or you know what I'm saying. So we might find out something new, and there's a new villain. I forget the
an all-new villain.
an all
completely original.
completely original.
What's the villain's name?
Do we have a name yet?
There was a name
There was a name?
in the article, but I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
We know nothing about him. So.
Yeah, there's no details.
Yeah, there's no details
other
about
than
him.
his name, which we have forgotten.
Oh no.
But there's no details about him, so it's like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
That's
kinda
the
wanna know what he's called,
that's
though.
the JJ mystery box. Is
I'm,
you're like what?
I'm all aboard the JJ hype train.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah,
I-
we're JJ fans.
I think JJ, and I've
I'm
expressed
assuming
this
you're a
opinion
JJ fan.
before.
Yeah, I'm a JJ fan.
I think JJ is the modern equivalent to Spielberg. Him and Jon Favreau.
Yeah, he's
Like I think JJ and Jon Favreau, maybe Matthew Vaughn are maybe he's got more. He has to do more stuff.
yeah. I was gonna say Matthew Vaughn doesn't do enough stuff.
But I think
That's not a
like
knock. I love
they
Matthew.
will be remembered forever. Not I think.
I don't know if
clearly-
Matthew Vaughn will.
Let's talk about JJ and John now. But
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like again, I love Matthew Vaughn. I just don't think he's done enough work where I can say that.
Yeah.
Except for Kingsman. But
Which is great.
And they're making us. Yeah,
But yeah, like they did Star Wars.
They're making a prequel.
You know,
Yep.
JJ did Star Wars. Favreau did Iron Man 1
Yep.
and Elf.
Mhm.
You know, like
Iron Man still being
And
like
Jungle Book
Swingers.
and the new Lion King. that's
Swingers,
coming
Jungle
out.
Book, Lion
Yep.
King.
yeah, the dude has range for sure.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
But so I'm really, 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 really excited to see this new comic because Spider-Man hasn't been good since 1988, except for when they did the Superior Spider-Man, and that was only the first 2 issues. That was good. And then they wrote themselves out of everything they built up. Just give me Spider-Man, JJ. I believe in you. You gave me Star Wars.
He will.
I believe in you.
Speaking of Star Wars,
we can
JJ.
and JJ,
and
staying on the JJ topic.
And JJ.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Dun, dun, dun.
actually, I don't know which one comes first. Which one comes first? It's cool. Change it. We'll talk about it. I don't know which one comes first. He's involved in almost every story.
I just changed it.
Cool. All right. So it is the Star Wars one. That's what I thought. So yes, this is Michelle
Rejwan.
Rejwan.
Did I say it right that time?
Michelle Rejwan.
I've been struggling with that
Which
for
one?
like 3 days.
So she is in charge of all the live action Star Wars films and television shows on the Disney streaming service coming in November. So she's now in charge of all of that going forward, which I think is great. If you guys don't know, Kathleen Kennedy was in charge of that. She is the head of Lucasfilm, so that is her job. But she also came on as a producer to oversee all the live action stuff for Star Wars. And whatever your opinions are on her, some people think she hasn't done a very stellar job. Other people like her. Either way, Lucasfilm herself, Kathleen Kennedy, has decided to put somebody in that position to run the movies while she just takes care of Lucasfilm as a company, which I think is a good move because, I want somebody in there that has worked with JJ. Her career, basically, she was a costume assistant back in 2005, all working with JJ, and then she ended up being an assistant to JJ on the Star Trek films, and then she moved to producer on The Force Awakens, and now she's an executive producer on Episode 9. So she's been with JJ. She's been with JJ for like the past over a decade now, and she's got a big promotion thanks to JJ and Lucasfilm. So,
it's kind of like
I'm excited.
Even though I've never heard of her until this thing, I have complete and utter faith in her because of JJ. And people are like, "What? How can you?" It's kind of like you just listed like all these JJ movies she was a part of.
Yeah.
As much as I love JJ, like this is a team effort, like that's why there's us 3 right here. Like it's like us 3. That's why there's us 3 right here. Like
that's your hand, Zach.
Yeah.
But it like takes a team to make anything special. So the fact that the guy who I think is one of the best filmmakers of all time has consistently picked Michelle over and over and over to be part of all these films that I think are some of like the most creative, well executed films ever made, like I'm down. It's kind of like the Bears coach Matt Nagy is part of the Andy Reid tree. Andy Reid has all these people who are always assistant coaches underneath him, and then they end up getting their own teams eventually, and they're all like the best teams in the league.
All right.
And she's like, he is her Jedi Master.
One thing that I want to make clear too is, she was an assistant for him, which isn't just like, oh, I'm gonna go get coffee, and I'm gonna like, do the paperwork or whatever. Like she's in meetings with him ever since like 2005, which was Lost time, like when he was making Lost. So she's been in meetings, making creative decisions with him, like learning from him.
Yeah, a
then.
film assistant. Yeah, just being.
Yeah, once you work with somebody that long, you just start speaking their language.
Yeah, you're an assistant to him,
Can you
which means you're with him all the time. You're with him all the time.
Get coffee, Like yeah, I'm JJ.
Well, a PA does do that. Yeah. So that's kind of where I wanted to make the distinction. Where it's like she wasn't just a PA, she is his assistant.
Yes.
She's in the credits you look for it, assistant to Mr. Abrams. Like it wasn't just a PA job. So I wanted to make that clear for people who needed that distinction.
Absolutely.
And then
But good luck to her.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
real.
I have faith in her, and I don't really want to get into the conspiracy, so I'll just kind of skip them, But I think it's only a positive thing that she's there. Of
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
That JJ has more people in Lucasfilm.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about reasons why, but
Yeah.
but JJ's invading even more stuff, so let's
Yes,
move on
he
to the
is.
next thing.
He's invading Child's Play.
Oh, wait,
No, I'm
that's
just
the
kidding.
wrong way.
Actually, you would
Our
have saved that.
slide
movie.
clicker is broken.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Sorry about that, guys.
what are you doing?
Zach's still new to the clicker
I'm
controls.
so new to the clicker controls.
He's got to learn.
Okay, so it's so weird, as a wireless keyboard. So you're like, oh, cool, like it's a keyboard.
Also, you're
that's
doing
wireless.
it. You're trying to do it and not look.
But I put them in
Which
the right. I put them in the right order. But then we went out of order to get to that first. So that's what.
Oh.
But so you think this thing would work? It's switched on, but it's like if you don't use it for like 10 minutes
it
or
auto
whatever,
switches off.
Oh,
you have to
interesting.
turn it off and back on.
That's
And
dumb.
I'm like that's dumb.
That's
Let me-
That's
terrible.
dumb.
Right?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
So yeah,
It's
guys,
ridiculous.
I'm doing this for you. I'm putting myself through all of this for you, because we love you. Martin, tell us about Bad Robot.
Bad Robot's freaking awesome. JJ's production company. And, well, before we get into anything more JJ Abrams, I just want to let you know that JJ Abrams personally remastered with his production company Phantasm 1, which if you're a Phantasm fan, check out the newly remastered copy of Phantasm. It's amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Totally
totally
but Bad Robots, going back to Bad Robots.
totally threw me a curveball there.
With
Sorry.
Bad
So,
Robot,
J-
the company that remastered Phantasm 1?
Amazing. So, JJ and his company recently separated from Paramount, and basically struck a deal with Warner Brothers for to basically go over there and create stuff.
So do you
Who
want to give
knows
us
what that is?
the
For
details of how that
$500
works?
million.
Like, does Warner Bros. Own them now?
No.
Like, do they
No.
have
No.
to distribute rights?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
can
yeah,
we-
yeah. It's more of, it's like, I mean, I don't know all the details. I'm not in the room, but I feel like
You're
it's
just more eloquent than me on this stuff.
it's exclusive distribution rights. So Paramount distributed everything that JJ produced, like Star Trek, Cloverfield stuff, other things.
Yeah,
I can't think of right
That's
now.
not my head either.
I can't think of.
Sorry,
What was
JJ.
the
Well,
Wolfenstein type movie? That was. From
Oh
Bad Robot,
yeah,
wasn't
that was
it?
from him too.
I can't think of the name.
Overlord.
Overlord. Yes.
I think it was
Right.
Bad
So
Robot.
they split. I don't know why.
Which
they,
was
I don't know
also
why
amazing.
I don't know why they split. But now he's over with Warner Brothers. As you can see by our thumbnail, there's kind of some speculation that he might get himself involved with the new DC films that are coming out of Warner Brothers here in the near future. Will he be the new Kevin Feige?
That would be insane.
I
That
don't
would
know.
be
I don't. I have
My
no
head
idea.
would explode if that happened.
I don't know because.
Straight up.
Oh, this is interesting, right? Let's speculate a little bit. One,
Yes.
let's look at this, right? He's in the middle of finishing up Star Wars Episode 9 for Disney, which is their competitor, right? Because Warner Brothers, if you don't know, Warner Brothers has DC, which is DC Comics, and Disney has Marvel, which is Marvel Comics. Right now, J.J. Abrams is making Star Wars, which is owned by Disney, so he's working for Disney, which is a straight competitor for Warner Brothers / DC.
Right.
So, they announced that the deal went down and that the deal's being made and that he's going to start working with DC, but maybe they're holding back like, hey, now he's in charge of the DC universe because he's still working for Disney at the current moment? I don't know.
So I think it's really interesting, and I brought this up the other day, but my iPhone is made by Apple, and Apple and Samsung are competitors. Like this Note 9 goes into market almost at the same time as the iPhone XRs because they're supposed to compete with each other.
Right.
But at the same time, the screen in the iPhone is a Samsung screen. Samsung still makes parts for the iPhone, and I feel like it kind of can be the same way because now Warner Bros. Is going to get money for Star Wars. Like some, I don't know how much, but if that's being distributed through them under the Bad Robot flag,
I don't think Warner Brothers gets Star Wars money.
you don't think they get Star Wars money?
No, that goes to Disney.
Okay.
JJ's just working with Warner Brothers to
But you get what
make Bad Robot. No, I don't.
What I'm getting, I'm saying
No.
you can be a competitor, but still kind of like how James Gunn he directed. He's directing Suicide Squad 2,
Right.
but it's not really going to be 2 because they're getting rid of that and just kind of relaunching.
Relaunching,
rebooting.
yeah, right.
Rebooting.
But he's doing Suicide Squad and stuff for Guardians at the same time. Like, even though they're competitor companies, they're still kind of like.
But they're not. I don't understand. I guess I don't understand your thought
I
process.
guess I'm saying
they're not getting money.
I feel like it's a lot more
Money goes.
fluid. I'm saying he might not be done with Disney, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So I guess I'm focused on like the transfer of money.
Gotcha. So
They're not
I'm saying
getting-
Paramount was technically.
There's no briefcases.
Paramount was technically a competitor to Disney,
Right.
as well. But anything JJ made was being distributed through Paramount. You said anything Bad
Yes.
Robot. So even though they're a competitor, they were getting Star Wars money still, even though they're competing. Paramount was saying. So I'm saying he might not be done at Disney, is what I was saying. Like,
Okay, gotcha.
He could make Disney. I'm saying I think it's interesting that he could make Disney stuff, but Warner Bros., which through Warner Bros. Means DC, Marvel's competitor, still is going to get some cash. So it's
No.
just interesting.
How?
If he makes a Disney, something for Disney,
Right.
which is
Which is
distributed
under-
through Warner Bros.
No. Disney stuff is Disney. He's working for Disney.
Right.
Bad
now.
Robot's logo does not come up over Star Wars.
It doesn't.
No,
Oh.
it never has.
Oh, okay.
He's
Well, never
not.
mind
He's
then.
not
I was
working.
very-
He's not bringing his Bad Robot company. He's
Gotcha.
working.
I
He's
thought
working
I
with
thought it
Disney
was-
people.
I thought it was with Disney. I thought it was like Disney and Bad Robot.
Nope, like a merger.
Okay.
Nope.
Never mind.
That's why I was confused. I was like, there's
No
There's-
Bad Robot merger.
there's no money going from. They would stop that in a heartbeat.
Right.
But
Got you.
yeah.
Nice.
But okay, so you get back to the speculation that makes sense, I guess, guys.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm gonna cry.
Bad Robots.
Don't cry. I was really like trying to wrap my head around what you said made sense until you were like, oh, then Warner Brothers is gonna make money off of what JJ produces for Disney. It's like, no.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
what do you mean no? Like, if Bad Robot is doing stuff, but if it's not under Bad Robot at all, then I get it now. I'm on the same page now.
Nice.
Cool.
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
But so, do you think he's gonna be DC's Kevin Feige?
Yes, I think so.
Not
To a
right,
degree.
not right away. I feel like it's gonna take a few,
Oh, yeah,
I feel like it's
absolutely.
gonna take a few years.
And what is Jeff Johns doing?
I don't know.
For those of you who don't know,
Right now he's
Jeff
probably eating.
Johns is in charge of the reboot of the DC Comics Rebirth, which has been extremely successful. And then after the DC movies were kind of, they brought him on board to like be the Kevin Feige and run the whole thing. But we haven't heard anything from Jeff from him about the DC movies in a while. So it's like, is JJ replacing him? Like, is he stepping down and JJ stepping up? Like,
Oh, also, speaking of JJ and Warner Brothers, Matt Reeves was the guy who directed Cloverfield, which was a Bad Robot production. And so JJ was involved in that. So there's possibly a connection there that maybe Matt Reeves and JJ were talking. And
that was made by Bad Robot. I'm on the right page now.
Yes.
I was just a dumb joke.
It's yes. So yeah,
Very nice.
so there could be possibly, maybe Matt Reeves has gone to JJ for some advice on the Batman. Who knows? Sorry to bring Batman up again. Ooh.
Maybe.
That's all we're saying about Batman today,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, no more Batman, guys.
But
I mean, it is why you're all searching in the analytics, but if you're here for Batman, you're gonna have to wait.
until we get some legit
Yeah.
news,
Yeah.
more legit news.
Too legit to quit.
And when that trailer
legit.
drops, oh boy,
Oh my god.
that's not for like another year or two.
So
That's
do
when
you
we'll start
think-
talking about Batman.
Do you think Matt Reeves brought JJ on? Or not, he can't bring him on, I mean, he's just a director. But I'm saying, like, do you think he started those conversations?
I think it started there a little bit.
Well, okay, let's take this all the way back. So, yes, because J.J. Abrams so back in 2005, we had Superman Returns, right, from Bryan Singer. Before that movie happened, J.J. Abrams was going to direct a Superman movie called Superman Flyby, which was going to happen either in 2002 or 2003. I can't remember.
Yeah, 2003.
But
yeah.
he was going to direct that movie. So he's been in, and it was like a go. It was going to happen. The script was written like they
They
were
had cast and stuff.
they were casting
Yeah.
like it was about to happen, but then it fell through for some reason. I don't know.
They were really doing that a lot. I'm not gonna.
So I
get into
think
that.
Hollywood back then was kind of
they did that
a
with-
different
with
beast.
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage's,
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Superman Lives. But yeah, so
There's pictures of him
Either
floating
way.
around too. Everyone has seen too, and his costume looked kind of cool.
Exactly.
2005.
So, so he's always been interested, obviously, in DC. I mean, if he really wanted to make a Superman movie, and maybe that's what maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe they're like, hey, we're trying to reboot Superman. We're rebooting Batman. We want to reboot Superman, so that's why we're bringing you on. So maybe he's got that down the pipeline in a couple years.
I see. I definitely see that.
We see that happen.
Yeah.
Because even though there's no official announcement yet of Henry Cavill being done, he's already taken on so many other roles.
Yeah.
You know, the Switcher thing, but also, and you know, spoiler alert for a post-credit scene in Shazam, which isn't even in theaters anymore.
Because I mean, Batman vs
That's on
Superman.
Blu-ray.
Batman vs Superman was more of the sequel to Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Man of Steel, you mean?
Yeah, Man of
Okay,
Steel.
yes, yes.
Man of Steel.
But so
Not,
it's
and
not,
it-
not
and-
1978.
No,
Superman.
No, and it got kind of unfavorable reviews, so this would be the time to reboot that.
well, in the end credits
I agree.
of Shazam, the Superman, is it Superman and Batman? It's just Superman and Shazam.
It's just Superman.
Yeah. So Superman and Shazam go into the lunchroom, and it's still Henry Cavill's suit, like the one that he was wearing, but they don't show his face.
Right.
His head's cut off.
'Cause
So
it's
that
not-
right there, I saw that. And
Because it's not Henry Cavill, guys.
yep. And it kind of sucked
It's
because
a stunt double in a suit.
I was enjoying Shazam a lot, and then that happened, and it ended with me being like, oh, dang, he's officially gone.
Yeah,
But, so it would make sense.
you had a tear on the left side of your face too.
Yeah,
when I looked
Yeah,
at
I
was,
know.
It was just all down,
it. Yeah.
all the way
It
down.
was bad.
My chest,
Yeah.
yeah, there was
But-
stains. But,
Stains.
yeah, my tears stained my shirt.
Yuck.
But
Greasy
yes.
tears.
Greasy tears.
Yeah. Whoa.
But no, so it's like maybe they did bring him on like specifically for Superman, or maybe Matt Reeves. You know, Ben Affleck was supposed to direct Batman. He stepped down. Maybe that's because there was like these issues, like, and Matt Reeves is still having those issues, like with Warner Bros. And DC. And it's like, JJ, like, I need help. You're a big respected name, and like I've worked with you. Like, see what you can do. You know, like we don't know how this stuff works.
Could be.
But
Could be.
I would love to see him as the new Kevin.
Speaking
Feige.
of one more tiny Batman thing that I'm gonna say.
Spit it out.
My buddy Garrett has some connections in Hollywood, and he talked to me about. We were talking about Batman, obviously, and he told me that he heard that the reason why Matt Reeves is taking so long to write the Batman script is because he's writing 3 full Batman movies at the same time. Like he's working on 3 scripts, not just one.
Wow.
So that's why it's taking so long.
Which is something that JJ, potentially the new head, has also done, like with Star Wars and stuff. He wrote out those 3 scripts.
Exactly, that could have been
So
advice
that
from
could
JJ.
even- yeah, that could be JJ's advice right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speculation.
So
Cool.
Ding.
while we're on the topic of superhero stuff,
Superheroes.
I kind of just want to mention The Boys. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like one of our like official topics. I didn't know this was a comic. You said this was a.
Yeah, one of my friends that is based on a comic book. I looked it up, and they have a complete book of all the boys stuff. So I definitely want to get into that and check it out before it airs. But yeah, it's definitely a comic book, so that's really cool.
And it's like a parody, but it's still like, so there's like parodies that are goofy, but then there's parodies that like they're like, yeah, we're a parody, but we're taking ourselves really serious too. You know, kind of like One Punch Man has like some of the best fight scenes in anime, but it is a parody of like every anime stereotype on purpose. So
And then you have movies that like parody itself, like Child's Play.
that's the next thing we're gonna get into. I'm so excited. So to be really brief about it, because I like.
Or should we move into Stranger Things?
I mean, I said 2 sentences. They don't even know what the boys is, so I'm just gonna say what.
Not
it is.
now, obviously. I just meant before we get into the craziness that is Child's Play.
No, let's
think
talk about the boy
Child's
because the
Play
trailer
first.
for the boys is amazing.
So thank you.
It's really awesome. We're not
I wanna
leaving the
see it.
boys. We're not going to leave the boys.
We never
Yeah.
leave the boys. Saturdays are for
We're
the
not
boys.
leaving the boys.
Saturdays for the
We're not
boys.
leaving the boys for the Child's Play. I
Okay.
wanted to leave the boys for Stranger Things.
We done, boys.
No.
So,
Calm down.
you know, like Facebook and stuff like it shows you ads specifically related to stuff you're interested in.
Yes.
So thankfully, I'm interested in superhero stuff. So the boys came up on my Facebook newsfeed,
Bam.
and it was one of those like advertisements for a trailer.
Were you just blown away when you saw that trailer?
I really was, because I had no clue what to expect. So I love Carl Urban. I think he is like a fantastic actor. I want him in more things.
Yes.
And he was
Fire.
amazing Dread.
Yes, he was.
And
Underappreciated movie, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, Dark Dragon.
Please make another one. Cut it out.
So there was a video in my newsfeed, and it was Carl Urban, and he was like, "Hi, I'm doing this thing." I was just like, "Okay, what's up, Carl Urban?" He's like, "You should go check out the trailer for The Boys right underneath here." And I was just like, "Okay," because Carl Urban told me to, and I'm like, "If Carl Urban's in it, I want to watch it."
Marketing
So
worked.
I clicked it, and I'm like,
What the hell
you
is
know, I'm
it?
like, yeah, I'm like, what is this? And it just starts like, you know, there's this dude holding this girl's hand, and I'm just like, so it's some, and all of a sudden she's just like vaporized, and it's slow motion. You see like her rib cage and just like blood everywhere. And then this dude who's like their version of the Flash is like, oh, sorry, like I can't stop running, and he just keeps going, and her hands are still in the guy's hands, which was the best part. But so basically, Carl Urban then says the most important information for the whole trailer, which is supers cause hundreds of casualties a year, and they're hunting them down. And it's the Seven, which is clearly a parody of a reference to the Justice League, the Earth's mightiest heroes, I guess, in this universe. And Carl Urban and the boys are hunting these supers down, and it looks like a wild ride. It's an
It looks
Amazon
super fun.
exclusive.
Yep.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I'm
But-
excited. I am excited.
I'm also excited to hear some Child's Play.
Oh, jeez.
Martin's the only one who's seen it so far.
Yeah.
This is,
Well, first off, the theater was packed. It was a super packed showing, and I think everybody enjoyed the movie too. I didn't see anyone in the theater that was like, "Oh, this movie's terrible." Everyone was like, "Yeah, that was great, excellent movie." I'm kind of a fan of Child's Play. I loved the first one a lot. First one I saw, and then they slowly started to get kind of cheesy as they went on, as everyone knows.
as old horror movies tend to do.
Yeah, but no, this movie was just
They're back with a vengeance.
Yeah, no, this it's back with vengeance being bad. No, because this movie's just awful.
So what do we want to hear first?
okay.
The beginning?
Spoilers.
Yes,
I'm gonna go into spoilers a little bit. There's no way to describe this without going to spoiler territory here. But you know the movie's bad when you just like see the first like 10 minutes of the movie and you're like, okay, what is going on? Because like, all right, so the first part of the movie started off somewhat reasonable. We have the Caslin. We have an introduction with the Caslin spokesperson who's like, "Here at Caslin," and then Caslin, just so you know, is like this huge corporate entity that's making these dolls, and it's pretty much like
Chucky dolls.
yeah, exactly, and they're pretty much like the Amazon Prime of like everything, pretty much. Like he does like the AI of like everything in the house and everything, and the dolls is like their main, pretty much their popular toy.
Very strange.
Yeah. So they continue going with that. I'm like, okay, this is cool. All right. Give it a chance here.
A little strange.
And then all of a sudden it starts getting into pretty strange territory.
A little strange.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because all of a sudden we hear some crackling in the background and it's like Vietnam, which is clearly actually Canada. And then they show this factory and the camera just like pushes into the factory. And then we have a bunch of like Vietnamese people being like slave labor into making these dolls, and then the camera just kind of pushes around to the back of the factory and everyone's like, no, why are we doing this? And then like on the bottom there's just a bunch of like text on the screen and it's all like in Vietnamese, so you have to read the little translations, and all of a sudden like this guy's just like, "Oh, you so stupid, what are you doing? You finish this doll now and then you fired." And then like the guy's like he looks back at him, he's like, "No." And then he goes on the computer, and his last task is to finish this doll before he gets fired. And there's
Because you finish you get told you're working at Subway and you fired halfway through making a sandwich. Hey, finish that sandwich, then you're done.
Yeah.
So he's looking at the screen, and there's a bunch of like text on the screen that comes up, and then there are all these sub directives that the dolls have. They're already pre-programmed, and there's a directive
By the company.
Yeah, and there's a directive in there that says kill switch or something, and then he activates it, which was in the deactivated status. So I'm led to believe that all these dolls have this kill switch activation inside them from the get-go. So I was
So stupid.
So I was like, what?
So
And then
dumb.
there was a guy that saw that and was like, oh, you see that, man? I knew it, man.
Dude, that's like all.
I'm like,
that's
Did you go with anybody or were you by yourself?
I went with a buddy, and we both were like, what? This is terrible.
This is like cartoon self-destruct button stupid.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Everyone was like, what? Oh my god, it's awesome. And I was like, no, it's not. So and then you see the doll like get picked up, and it goes through the assembly line, gets put in a box, and then the box gets shipped in the truck. And the last few frames of that scene, the guy that just programmed that doll like jumps off the building onto this car. It splatters on the car.
The guy commits suicide.
Yeah, the guy commits suicide. And then no one says anything. They're like, well, load up the shipment in the truck. Let's go. And that's the opening of the movie. And I was like, what is going on? And that was the opening. Yeah. And it only gets worse from there. Pretty much like every death sequence in the movie is just ridiculous and cheesy.
Tell us about the apartment the landlord death scene.
Okay, so there's this sleazy landlord who's like,
by the way.
he's a pretty heavy set guy. He's probably like 300 pounds or so. He goes down.
Pretty heavy set.
Yeah, he goes down to the
300 pounds.
He goes down to the basement.
Very strange.
Goes onto the computer, and and as he goes on the computer, he's looking at. Okay, this is the part in the movie where he does a reveal here of his character. And he's literally like creeping on everybody in the tenement building. And there's like 20 floors.
That's strange.
And he puts cameras in every single room of the house, like in all the floors, kitchen, living room, and no one notices this. And he's just flipping through all like the channels on the TV and stuff. And he's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, Chucky comes in there and he's like, and stabs him in the leg. And he's like, oh God. And then he like leans back on his table, and then Chucky stabs him again in the other leg, and he's like, ah! And I'm like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, this 300-pound dude jumps up in the air like 10 feet on top of the table to get away from. Yeah.
Both of his legs just
Yes.
snapped?
He just jumps on top of the table, and this table is a table saw. Right, the camera just swoops down. It's like, yep, that's right. It's a table saw. And I'm like, wait, whoa. What is going on? And then he's just like prancing around the table, and he doesn't know what to do. And he's like, oh, God. And then Chucky's just like, being the amazing badass Chucky is, he just backhands the table, and then both the legs just shoot off because Chucky's just so strong. The table collapses and then turns on too, like immediately, which makes no sense. And then miraculously, there's this steel pipe right above him where he jumps on, which is actually a steam pipe, and he grabs onto it.
Which you would know, right?
Yeah.
So why did he grab it?
Right, he grabs onto it for
lives there.
for like what it seems like 5 minutes straight. He's just like, oh my God, looking down at the saws. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Ah, jeez, and everyone's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And I'm like, oh my God, it's pretty obvious what's gonna happen. And then he's just standing there. Oh no, I'm like, why does he just like shimmy down the pipe and just like jump out of the way, right? I mean, he's just holding on to it for a good 5 minutes straight, and then Chucky, since he's connected to everything in this movie, his finger lights
everything
up.
in the movie.
And the way they show this is weird too. He has this ET thing going on where his finger just starts glowing.
Is it the whole finger?
Yeah, his whole finger starts glowing.
It's not just the end, it's the
The whole finger's just glowing, and then he's just like, and the camera zooms in at the finger, and we're like, what? And then all of a sudden the temperature starts going up on the steam pipe, right? So it starts off at like 100 and it goes up to like 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and he's just like, yeah, and he's still holding on to it. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Everyone's like, do you see that, man? His hand, oh God. And then like you see his hand start melting on the pipe, and he's still holding on to it. Eventually he loses the grip on one arm, and I'm like, dude, this guy's so freaking strong. How does he do this? If he had that much strength, why don't you just shimmy across the pipe? And eventually,
Or take out the doll!
Right. And then the camera zooms back at the saw, so you get like perspective of how dangerous this saw is.
I thought he said sauce.
And the saw is literally like maybe a ½ inch or so, like above the table. It doesn't even look that menacing, to be honest with you. Okay, well, eventually he falls on the table saw. Blood just starts spraying out. He's like, ah! He literally sits on the saw, and then all of a sudden, an entire leg just flies up in the air. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then the leg just plops on the floor, and everyone's like, oh my god, did you see that? That's insane. Oh my! And I was like, so stupid. And that's just one death scene in that movie that's just ridiculous.
So I was like 50-50 on seeing Child's Play because again I have the AMC A-list thing, so it's like 3 movies a week I might as well.
Right.
And I love Mark Hamill. You put me at 100% now. Like this review.
Well, the movie's bad anyways though. When like the movie like the filmmakers are aware of how bad its own material is, and they kind of like parody themselves. Because there's scenes too where we already seen what the doll looks like. You've seen it in the trailers and stuff, but you have no idea what this doll actually looks like until you watch the movie. And I have to say with 100% certainty, this doll looks terrible. Like it just looks like they would not make something like this now. Like this just looks awful. And there's a couple jokes too where they kind of like make fun of this too. And like spoiler again, like Andy's trying to trick this guy into getting scared, and he's like, "Oh, make this weird face," and then the doll's just like changing his lip expressions, and it just looks so awkward to watch. And I'm like, so they know how bad the design of their own doll is for this movie. And that's the problem. When your own doll, which is a remake of a doll from the 80s, and it looks worse in this movie, that's just bad, you know?
When you basically, you had the character design, they could have just copied the one from the 80s, and nobody would have said a thing.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
So
and Mark, I was also excited for Mark Hamill because I'm a huge Mark Hamill fan too. He literally has maybe 10 full lines.
It's the voice of Chucky, by the way, for people who don't know.
Yes, he does the voice of Chucky in this one, replacing Brad Dourif.
Maybe the Joker from the cartoon.
I guess you can call it the voice.
Yes.
I don't think he did motion capture for this.
What?
That was just a joke.
No,
I don't think he did the motion capture, so yeah, just the voice.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's he only has like maybe 10 lines of spoken dialogue
I
throughout.
didn't know Strickland was in this movie.
What?
The movie that is playing.
Yeah,
behind
no,
us, by the way,
He-Man's up
which
there.
is
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'd
sorry.
like to
It's a
have
classic
something
movie.
different playing behind us.
Yeah, we have something different playing behind us in every episode. But,
Yes.
Strickland from Back to the Future, I didn't realize he was in this movie.
Yes, he
And
is.
if you want to watch Masters of the Universe, this movie is on YouTube's free movie section. The whole movie. Because that's a thing YouTube does now, and there's a lot of them.
And it's
We're pop culture, so I kind of feel like we should plug that. I don't know why I didn't, so thank you.
It's
for
also
noticing.
it's also 100 times better than Child's Play remake. So just throwing that out
Look
there.
at them. Look at them in the kitchen.
I think I will enjoy Child's Play remake a little more though. Now
For
I'm
sure.
so excited now.
So, but here's the deal. So you said the theater was packed,
It was packed. Yep.
and everybody liked it. Tell us about what you heard when you walked out of the theater.
Okay, well, first off, if anyone has seen the original Child's Play, they know that that film had a remarkable soundtrack. There's an amazing score that happens at the end of the movie, and everyone that's seen that would know what I'm talking about. I was expecting a little bit something like that for the end of this movie, but what we got was a strange song by Mark Hamill where he literally just kind of sings the buddy song. That's the theme of the movie, and it was very cringy, to say the least. I felt ashamed when it was playing.
You probably pull it up online.
I just wanted to leave. And I did. So as soon as I was walking out,
What's your favorite color?
so when I was leaving, there was a couple of people outside, and they were all like, "Wow, that movie was just great. That was just remarkable." And I was like, "We saw the same movie, right? That was pretty bad." But there's people that enjoy it, and
Good for them.
good for them. I did not enjoy it at all.
I'm so excited to enjoy it now that I don't know.
Could you enjoy it again the
but
second
now
time, or
that
are
I
you
know,
just
I'll
are you just
enjoy
done?
it.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I mean, I would watch it again, I guess. But
It's like Is it like Venom, where you could watch it again and laugh,
yeah,
or
yeah.
is it just like I don't want to ever see it again?
Knowing all the ridiculous parts of the movie, it'd be fun to rewatch it again with friends again and be like, yeah, this movie is just as cheesy as it was the first time. So yeah, it's got that cheese replayability for sure.
So speaking of cheesy, the '80s were very cheesy. And Stranger Things takes place in the 80s.
Oh my
I am
God.
the Segway King.
Wow.
By the way, guys.
So strange.
How did that?
I've been plugging that for a while.
Smooth like butter.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. How do we want to do it? Do we want to watch the trailer and then talk about Stranger Things?
Yeah, we can watch the trailer. So the final trailer dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And any important information we need to say before the trailer?
Comes
Takes
out
place, what, 2-year time gap?
1.
1 year
It's
time
1985.
Gap? Okay.
It takes place on the 4th of July. And, to take place on the 4th of July, they are releasing this on Netflix the 4th of July weekend. And it's only 8 episodes.
Okay.
Only 8 episodes.
And
so
then
originally,
the next season's
originally
gonna
it's
be
13.
The next season's gonna be 4 episodes, and then 3, and then it's
2.
and then
And
2.
then it's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
Not a Stranger Thing and nothing.
So one thing I do want to say before we play the trailer, because I want you guys to watch the trailer and tell us what you think. But
Wow, what a hook
the
ripoff.
kids in the trailer were saying
No one knows.
Sorry, go. I'm just commenting on the movie.
the actors in Stranger Things were saying the other day that they feel like the show needs 1 or 2 more seasons to properly conclude.
Mm-hmm. This kind of feels like a conclusion, though.
This
We'll see.
trailer to me, it looks like a conclusion season. So there's no official news on a 4th season. Is kind of what I'm getting
Tyler,
at.
when you
So-
saw it, you didn't really like it too much. You kind of said that it was kind of like taking elements from the second season
We'll
and
get
kind of
it.
Yeah,
rehashing
so
it.
let's watch the trailer.
We'll get into it
All right,
a little bit. Let's watch it again.
Zach, just put on the trailer, please.
Our trailer has disappeared. Oh, there it is. It just took a second to load. I gotta interact with it to full screen it.
You let us in. And now,
Yes.
you are going to have to let us stay.
That is Gary Busey's son, by the way.
Doesn't make sense.
His voice.
I closed.
Here, I'm gonna put it on the top for you guys.
What if he never left?
I leaned into the
Here
mic.
with us.
Rats.
He'd want to attach himself to someone again. A new host. It's building something. No matter what happens, we have to stop him. Together.
Now it's time. We're going to end you. We're going to end your friends. Then we are going to end everyone.
Our kids are in danger.
We need to end this. I can fight.
Better than any of us. But I need you safe.
What the hell? I need you to trust me.
Holy Mother of God.
Oh, so cool. I love how they like reference Predator.
Best theme song of the decade, by the way.
Wow.
Easy. In my opinion. It's definitely one of the best theme songs of the decade.
Say that one more time.
Best theme song of the decade.
Wow.
Say it's one of the best theme songs of the decade.
Yes.
Best what?
One of the best theme songs.
Hey,
of
I'm
the decade.
One of the
CDC.
best.
No, I'm having a
What are you
technical
doing?
difficulty.
You gotta
Stop
You
it.
gotta mute all these.
Stop.
man.
No, I know how this works.
We talked about this.
I'm gonna let someone else run it next time, and we'll see how much worse.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. We're all friendly. It's just a joke.
But you guys can start talking while I am fixing this.
Well, you said first off that the storyline's a little bit too similar to season 2. I didn't finish season 2, so I can't really discuss about
I don't know.
season 2 too much. But Tyler has.
I just feel like these guys are brilliant. It just seems kind of like the same thing again, and I'm glad that it seems like all of our main children, or young adult cast is together. I hated that they separated in season 2. Spoilers, sorry. I didn't like that at all. Same thing with Star Wars. Like, keep these people together.
Yes.
You built that chemistry. Anyways, if you have an ensemble cast, keep them together. Split them up, but don't split them up for an entire season. Anyways, so I like the fact that it looks like all these people are in their town together, experiencing that. It's super cool. I'm just I don't know. I really fell in love with like the like the science aspect, or like the experimental thing that we were.
No, I really like that.
That we were touching on in
Yeah.
season 1, and I see some of that in here, but not a ton that's going to sell me that we're going to get a lot of answers. We said that there might be two more seasons. I don't know. This looks like a kind of a finale.
Yeah, it looks like a final.
Yeah, that looks like a finale.
So
Yeah. Final.
Also, too, there was a lawsuit regarding this, so I don't know how that went down. I haven't done my
I
research.
think they won last time I checked.
I think they did win, but I don't. So who knows? That could play an influence. Maybe they want to wrap it up quick because of that. Who knows? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So one thing that's kind of interesting.
I'm just tired of the monster of the week type thing, I guess, and like somebody being possessed again.
So one thing that I think is kind of interesting is it's the same villain like across all 3 seasons. You know, like we didn't know that Demogorgon was part of like this bigger hive collective.
Right.
And then the second season kind of reveals that when we get the what do they call them, demi-dogs, you know?
I guess.
We get the demi-dogs.
Not a good name.
And then we got the Demi-Downers. I'm kidding.
So if they do more seasons,
And the Chucky Dolls.
you know, I've seen a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows where like there's this big villain, this overarching nemesis, and you face this nemesis for like 3 or 4 movies or like multiple seasons of the show, and then you win, and then they bring in a new nemesis, and it's just not.
Yeah, because you don't
It's
build
like
that
weak,
chemistry
you know what I mean?
from all, having.
So I'm kind of
been with them
interested
for all-
too to like.
I'm for you on that. I'm
Really
for you on that.
interested to see
Yeah.
like. Because sometimes we get the news before the season even drops that it's renewed for a 4th, you know?
Right.
So, like, if we do...
We will get it in the same week for sure.
Yeah, the same week for sure, but it's like, if we get it after...
Probably the next 2 days.
It's gonna, like, really... Not impact, like, it's gonna change how I watch it, but it's gonna change the questions I ask, you know? Like, when this season wraps up, like, we haven't seen it, so we don't know, but, like... Are there going to be loose ends? Because if there aren't, then it's like... If there aren't, and we haven't heard the news, it's like... Dang, Stranger Things is over. And then they give us the news like, oh, there's a 4th season. I'd be like, wait, what? Everything's wrapped up? You know what I mean? So it's just like... It's not going to really change the viewing experience, but it's going to change the questions that I ask when we get that news.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I do like that they said...
I'm excited, by the way. I'm super stoked. I love.
looks amazing.
I love Stranger Things. Anybody that knows me knows that like I'm a big Stranger Things fan, and I love Stranger Things.
like
you
you
get
with
pretty much every
Spider-Man
poster that's ever come out for Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, I had like keychains and
Action figures and.
Yeah, it's like how I was talking earlier with Spider-Man 2. Like, we can talk about, like, things that we love, but still be critical and still address our issues.
Of course.
And I can't think of their names. They're brothers, right? Who makes Stranger Things?
The Duffer Brothers.
The Duffer Brothers.
Yeah, Matt and Ross.
So,
Big Duffer.
they did say before, which I like knowing that, they said Billy, right? Billy's the guy with the mullet.
Billy's the brother, yeah.
Yes. They said Billy is irredeemable, basically. Like, he's just gonna be, like, evil. Like, there's no... Because Steve was supposed to be...
Right.
In the first season, Steve was supposed to, like, be a big nemesis and adversary to the crew. Or to... Not the crew, to the cast. And then, what's the actor's name? Who plays Steve? Do you know? I can't think of it offhand. He's in that... he's Canadian.
I don't know his name.
Well,
Yeah.
he was so likable and like his charisma that they were like they changed him partway through, and they're like, okay, we can't have this guy stay the villain.
Right.
So they changed him, and then that's why they introduced Billy in season 2. They wanted a villain who's not going to have a, oh wow, you guys really changed me arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just going to be like evil the whole time. So it's kind of cool to see him teaming up with the tornado mon. I don't know what to call it, the bad guy of the series.
It's the Mind Flare.
The Mind
is
Flare?
what it's called. Yeah.
So it's cool to see him team up with the Mind Flare because it's like, are they gonna kill him since he's not? You know what I mean? Like, like does he survive?
So yeah, I guess it's nice that they have. Yeah, you're right. That they have the Mind Flare has somebody that's working with them, because he's probably going to be addicted to the power that it gives him. I would assume, right? That's probably how they're going to play it, where they're going to be like, oh, this is he's going to be somebody that's going to be attracted to the power.
Like the villain from
Why he wants to kill a bunch of kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems kind of goofy. But I guess if he's possessed. But again, this is retreading stuff we did in the second one.
Well, season
Regardless.
2, yeah,
Regardless.
This all looks pretty willing to me. This looks like a willing team up.
That's what I would prefer, yes.
That's what it looks
rather
like.
than a
it looks
possession.
like he's saying, take my body and give me power.
Yeah, I don't want a possession. Like that's gonna. If it's willing, I'm down. I'm cool with it. Possession. Yeah.
So I'm interested too. I'm not going to go into all these details, but my Stranger Things theory since season 1 is that 11 created the Upside Down, and she doesn't even realize she did. And that the Upside Down is a dimension that exists inside of her brain. And you telling me that the bad guy's called the Mind Flare. I'm like, brain, mind, aha!
Dang. Stop doing
But
that.
so
That was my Martin impression, by the way.
Nice. Yeah. Didn't sound at all like me.
yeah.
No, it was very close, sir.
But
You can play it back when we're done.
Okay.
is there any other news that you
That's
guys
it.
want to discuss before we tune out?
The only thing, we're gonna go see Toy Story tonight.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All three of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go see Toy Story, and we will have a review for you soon. After that, at some point.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
No promises.
Whoa.
But we might record it as soon as the movie's over. We don't know how the night's gonna go. So be expecting this week.
I'm a huge Toy Story fan.
review.
I'm a huge Toy Story fan.
You gonna bring action
Tyler
figures?
is actually going to dress up as Woody, and Martin's dressing up as Buzz. That's actually why we have to cut it short.
He's
because
got the
they're about to
wings
change.
for it,
Yeah. So
Yes.
no, we're gonna go see Toy
and
Story.
I got the Woody legs.
But before we
Yeah.
leave, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us as always.
Everybody that knows me is like, he does have the Woody legs.
And we have more content on our channel, so feel free to check out our other videos because we do a lot of stuff. I can't get into the details right now. I'm gone.
His leg bends backwards the other way too far too.
Kind of does
So
sometimes.
thank you for joining us today. And if you check out the description, you see we have our Patreon there. That's all I'm really going to plug of it right now.
Yes.
You check it out. You can help us in a more hands-on way grow and make higher quality content and make more frequent content. And if you don't want to contribute on a Patreon, a like, subscribe if you're not, and comments on the video go so far.
Yeah.
Along with sharing it with your friends. So, thank you so much for practicing with the stupid Woody legs. Thank you so
Just
much for
flopping
joining
around.
us on the third episode of the Pop Culture
Episode 3.
Cave.
It was a great episode.
It's a very
Yeah.
great episode, and I am glad I got to be here, and I'm glad you got to be here.
Woody
I
legs.
wasn't
Now I gotta awkwardly turn and hit end
I
screen.
wasn't originally going to be here, but I'm glad that I was here. Definitely take care of your legs.
We're ending it there. All right, peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Do
Come
squats.